We're back with my first video. That's actually my second video because the first video was 45 minutes and I decided to make this very short. Okay, so what is this video going to be about? It's going to be about the whole race issue. Apparently, a lot of people think that black people have low IQs, and they think that because we're black. They think the fact that we have melanin, the fact that we're, I don't know, African causes us to have low IQ. And I'm going to address that fact and how it is not true at all. Okay, so I'm going to try to do a bunch of things, but the first thing that I want to do is I'm just going to talk about my experience dealing with people that think this. It's mostly white people. And basically, a lot of white people are really convinced that black people are just dumb, that we're inherently just low IQ, and that they're better and that they're superior. A lot of the people that I meet online are dumber than me. There's only one white person that I've met that was actually smarter than me. I think he had like an IQ of like 125 or something. It's very interesting. But then again, most of them are extremely dumb. But when I try to investigate why they think they're better or they have higher IQ, they just say, hey, it's just like a known thing. It's a known fact. Everybody knows about this. Don't you know about it? And I'm like, no, I don't. I've never heard this before. I know that it's like a certain kind of talking point in some groups, but I've just never, like, I didn't think that it was really ubiquitous. And I just looked at all the paperwork, which was a lot. And I realized that even in sub-Saharan Africa, I think the average IQ is like 82 or something. And as I delved into this, I started to ask why. Like, why is this so? I'm from Africa. I've never left. I've had an African education. And why do I seem smarter than most of these people? And most of these people whom are of European ancestry and who think are better than I am, when they in fact are not. And after just looking up all the data, I found one discrepancy, a thing that decides why black people have low IQ on paper. It's actually true, technically speaking. And I found out why that is, but when I investigate the reason as to why white people, or certain white people, believe this, it was a little troubling. It was I don't know, I think I saw a video once, some guy saying something about you just lean back on your ethnicity or on something that somebody is related to you somehow has done just for your own self-esteem. And I think that's what most of these guys do, basically. They just, I don't know. They're working someplace mediocre and they just want to feel superior than to the black person. It is a certain kind of feeling that people have. Everybody has it. I have it. And it's kind of sad, to be honest. And most of them have never really spoken to a black person. But regardless of my experience with these people, I'm just going to try to talk about what it is that decides this thing. So there's a researcher, a guy that studies this IQ situation. He's from New Zealand, I think. His name is Flynn. There's also something called the Flynn effect. But basically, he ran a study and he found a certain kind of discrepancy between white people and black people. I think it was like a 1.5 like standard deviation. Like whites are like smarter than blacks in the US. And it's very troubling to see this, but year by year, or like every 5 years or every 10 years, the IQ of every prospective group of people increases. The IQ of black people in the US is increasing, but so is the IQ of white people as well. But it's increasing as, you know, at a one standard deviation higher than blacks. And because of that, you know, that discrepancy, he studied half black children in Germany after the war, after World War II. There were a bunch of American black soldiers that stayed in Germany and they married German wives. And once they had kids and he ran the IQ test again in Germany, like half black kids that were born and raised in Germany, there was absolutely no IQ difference between these half black kids and the German kids that were educated there. And the deciding factor was the culture, basically. It was the culture that surrounded them and their environment. And I mean, technically speaking, if they were black and, being black kind of made you score lower on, IQ tests, that should have showed. At least they should have would have shown at least a standard deviation lower, or like half a standard deviation, if that's a thing. I'm not sure. But it didn't. That wasn't a thing. And it was the same. But in America, the African American culture in the US actually is detrimental to intellectual development. That is said not by just me, but by Thomas Sowell, the greatest author ever, according to me. So, yeah, that's the thing. He actually writes about this in his book, Intellectuals and Race. Or it could be the other one. But no. It's Intellectual and Race. But again, he writes about this, and this is an actual fact, and I am not a cultural relativist. I don't believe every culture is equal. I believe that some cultures are superior, ones that believe in science and experimentation and, basically anybody that wants to measure and discover and is curious and whatnot. And I completely acquiesce to that. I did, to that culture than any other culture, even my own. And I see a lot of videos floating around, people saying, oh, hey, black people are dumb, whatever. And every time you're talking to someone online, they just assume that you have low IQ somehow, but that's not really a thing. And I just hope that this goes a long way disproving whatever it is, whatever kind of biases that people have about black people and of IQ. And technically speaking, according to the Bell Curve, very contentious book, even though only a chapter of the book deals with IQ and race that I had to read, and I did. Technically, East Asians and Ashkenazi Jews have superior IQ, compared to anybody. It's not even white people at the top. So Ashkenazi Jews and East Asians, countries like South Korea, China, and what was the other one? Oh my God, Japan. How can I forget Japan? Japan. Those countries have they're one standard deviation above whites, and then there's whites, and then there's blacks. But I'm pretty sure that that's not even genetic. I think if you had a certain kind of East Asian German culture, and if black kids grew up in that culture and they were given quality education, you'd get the same kind of IQ between all the races. That's just the thing. I really, really genuinely believe that. And yeah, but most of the sentiment that I feel, especially talking to people online, is that they just want to feel better. I want to feel better, definitely. That's why I'm sort of kind of doing this video. Because I'm black, and I just want to prove to whoever's watching that I'm not as dumb as you think I am, even though I potentially could be. Everything's possible. But then again, not all black people, because they're black, are dumb. Blackness doesn't equal to low IQ. Blackness doesn't equal to anything, but your culture, the environment in which you're surrounded by. And to quote Thomas Sowell again, there's no gangster rap in Germany. He said that, not me. I'm going to try to insert the clip here, maybe.
So there's no gangster rap that was pervasively available in Germany. So
yeah, yeah. There's no, because of those facts, you have this kind of. He even spoke about how black kids that do well in school are kind of bullied in the U.S. They're like, oh, you care about school? We want to go to college? That's a thing, apparently, in the U.S. And that discourages intellectual development. And then you get the whole, oh, he's low IQ, whatever kind of stuff. But I don't even think some of the people that make these arguments are people that have seen the statistics, because of all the white people that I've spoken to that think that I'm dumb, I'm the only one that's seen the stats. I'm the only one that's actually read the literature because I actually care. These people just like think they know shit. Like they just think they know that black people are dumb. Anecdotal, but it's like maybe they've experienced it firsthand. It could be the whole barrage of social media experience that they've had of, black people doing stuff that they consider to be low IQ. But regardless of which, most of them just want to feel better. Like, I feel like because the world is better than it was, and it is, I really believe that. Because it's better than it is, and because a lot of people and minorities are getting equal opportunity, especially in employment and such, white people are realizing that they're equal to other people as well. Like within regards to everything. Like there's black doctors, there's black physicists, whatever. Like there's Thomas Sowell. And that realization kind of makes you feel a little like just a little uncomfortable as much as anybody else, really. With the recent Avatar movie leak, I was talking to a friend somewhere yesterday, and we were talking about how there's the water tribe, the fire tribe, like, all the four different groups of people that have, these like abilities and whatnot. I think the world kind of tries to act that way, like World War II, we had the Germans thinking that they're the superior race. Oh, we really are better. Like we're better people than everybody else. French, half white, either Anglo-Saxon or like Scandinavian, and then you're of the superior race. I think everybody wants to do that. It's just an inborn thing. People want to like isolate themselves and their group, and they want to say, oh, we're better. We're just, this is, and when that gets taken away and you start to look around you and you start to see all these people just doing as good and sometimes even better than you, people that whom you've considered to be lower than you in the past and whom you've had to rely on them being lower so that you get to feel better about yourself. When they get equal opportunity and they start to move up and they start to do their thing, you just feel a little congested. I don't know what the right word for that is, but yeah, I think that's like a lot of the posts that I've seen on the right side of politics are like, oh fuck, it's like an Orwellian dystopia. Like we're all going to hell. It's just everything is gone. It's dead. And a lot of them like to blame other groups for their problems, like the birth rate. They're like, oh, this is because of these people, this is because of that, or whatever. But the birth rate is declining in Asia. It's declining in Turkey. It's declining in a lot of places. Even like overall, the birth rate is declining everywhere because women have access to education. They can go out and get a job and actually, for the first time in history, decide not to have kids if they don't want to have kids. That's just, contraceptive rights, the pill, whatever. That's not a bad thing. But to some people, it comes off as if it is. And yeah, and it's just, I'm sick of the doom and gloom. I'm sick of the whole, oh, hey, you're black and you're probably worse off than me. And Africa's not that bad, even though we have our problems. And yeah, it's just, I'm just making this video I saw this old guy and his video, which was a bit annoying. But I'm making this video, I don't think it was a bad video. I'm just, like, everybody's a little confused by this. And it's okay, yeah, Sub-Saharan Africa, average IQ is 82. It's not because of our race. Again, it's because we don't have a superior culture. Again, I'm not a cultural relativist. I don't believe every culture is equal. I believe other cultures are better. I believe in assimilation. I believe in learning from other people and other groups. That's why I live the life that I do. And I like the modern world. I really do. Nobody wants to go back to the Stone Ages. So, again, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It's a cultural issue. It's been tested in Germany with this New Zealand guy. And black people have the same IQ potential as whites do. And also, I'm going to drop another awesome fact here. Women and men also have the same IQ. It's just a thing. Also done by this person who also ran a bunch of tests. There's like the tiniest, maybe, I don't even think he said that. I don't even think there is a difference. But women and men, when educated, when given equal opportunity, have the same amount of IQ. And yeah, that's pretty much my first video. I don't know how long this went on. How long has this been going on? 15 minutes. Pretty good to cut it off for a first video. Yeah. So yeah, aside from that, you could review all of this. Most of the stats are, you could look up Professor Flynn. I think he's a professor. You could look up the book Intellectuals and Race by Thomas Sowell. And you could also look up this video. Yeah, so just try to do better and stop assuming things about people just because of the color of their skin. Now, also, now there's probably some guy there that's saying, but who made European culture? I'm like, okay, good. Again, European culture was made by the Europeans, the whites, right? Who made Asian culture? Who made East Asian culture? Who made the Japanese, the Chinese, the Indians? The Indians are also pretty smart. Like, again, white people do not have some kind of hegemony or like some kind of like monopoly on a superiority of culture that brings about better IQ. Again, you're second tier to the Asians. So yeah, there it is. And then some people say, oh, hey, they're not creative. They're pretty creative, as you can see. They're very creative people. And this could be a rumor, but I think some facilities in the U.S. actually don't allow East Asian nationals to enter because they're just so like they have like what do you call photographic memory or some shit. This could be a conspiracy. I will look it up. I could be wrong. I'm gonna put some kind of thing here if I'm wrong while editing this. But yeah, East Asians are incredibly creative and also very efficient. Very efficient. So very much so better in a lot of ways. You make a U.S. carrier for $13 billion. The Indians make so much more stuff with less time and equal amount of money. And here we are. Yeah, again, quality of life and all. Sure, everybody's got their problems, but then again, everybody's equally human. I just want everybody to know that, and I have. Yeah, I think I've what do you call it? Said my dues, or that's my 2 cents.